Hey folks, I'm your host BKP, and we're here today with head coach Chad McClure with the Hayesville Yellow Jackets. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
First year head coach.
Yes.
Okay, first year head coach, and you are from here. Now, correct. I want to start with this little joke when I was writing up my notes. Most people try to leave school. You have stayed here a long time.
I have. Very blessed to be here. Both my parents were educators in the school system, and so returned here in 2000, and just happy to be here.
Let's talk about this. You were 2018. You were the assistant coach, special teams coach, correct?
Yes.
For the team, and this year, first head coach. I usually like to say, how is the team doing on buying into your system? Tell the fans out there what is different now. You were on the sideline, but now you're the head coach.
Right.
So what is a Chad McClure Yellow Jackets team look like? How are the kids doing in buying into what you want to do as head coach?
I think I'm very excited with the way our kids are buying in. We've got a core group of kids that are very committed right now. Over the past few years, we haven't been as competitive as we want to be for various reasons, and I think the main thing that we're trying to do is work on the kids' mentality, getting them to believe that they can compete and they can win every game that they go out there, and that's what we're working on. Is just working on the confidence in these kids and the mental aspect, because they're very talented, they're very, very good kids, and we're excited to see what they can do this fall.
A lot of times, Coach, as you well know, I mean, you are a first-year head coach. You've been on the sideline here. You played here.
Yes.
So you played here, been on the sideline. A lot of times when your players are meeting the new guy, and somebody moves on, it takes a little more time for the juniors and the sophomores and the freshmen coming up to buy in. What exactly are you running this year, or what's different about this team that you're bringing? What kind of different offense, what kind of different game plan do we expect to see out of the Yellow Jackets this year?
I think you'll see a lot of the same things. I think one of the good things about me taking this job is a lot of the kids played for me when I was head coach at the JV level, and we had some success there.
4-2.
We were 4-2.
Yeah, 4-2. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's what I was getting ready to say.
4-2.
I didn't mean to leave that out. You were the head coach of the JV,
right.
And you had 4-2. So you're bringing some kids. Sorry about that. You're bringing some kids along that have success.
Right. And I feel like the administration felt like that was important, because we've got a group of kids that are very athletic in every sport, and I think they just felt like we didn't have time for somebody new to come in, because sometimes when a new coach comes in, it takes a year or two for them to build that relationship, and relationships are so important in sports, and these kids know me, they know what to expect, and so far they're doing great things.
You didn't have to come in and say, hello, my name is. You able to come in and say, let's get to work.
That's it.
How are they responding? How's practice going? What are some of the camps, some of the things that you've been doing up till now since you've become the head coach, and what are some of the things before your first game here? I think I have down August 23rd against Towns County. What are some of the things you're doing?
Well, we had spring practice, had a great spring practice, had a good turnout. We had some people still involved in other sports, but we had I think right at 25 kids at practice in spring. We had about 7 or 8 practices, and worked on installing our offense and then putting in some defensive concepts. We were very pleased after that. We're gonna do some various things on offense. Tying in what they already know, mainly be a spread offense, and then defense, putting in a multiple 40 system. So, and this summer, kids have been lifting. They come in the mornings and lift, and then we come back in the evenings and have our skill work. And we've gone to a couple of camps. We went to Georgia State University a couple of times with Coach Sean Elliott. One of my assistant coaches played for him at Appalachian State, so he's a great coach. So we went down there to Turner Field and took the kids down there and put them through some drills, and took about 15 kids down there. And you know, it was great for them to see that college aspect and to see and hear some of the same verbiage that we're teaching them out here.
What about the staff? I want to come back to the players in just a minute, but the staff, who is new this year? Who are you shifting around? Who is going to be coordinator? What are things that are going on with the staff? Who is new, and what kind of changes did you make when you came in?
Well, we kept a few. We added Frank Leatherwood, who is very, very knowledgeable and is going to be a great asset to our program. He has college experience, went on to the NFL. He's played in NFL Europe. He played for the Dolphins. Lots of experience there. He and I are going to team up the offense and coordinate the offense. He will coach offensive line as well. I kept Jonathan Hensley. He was the offensive coordinator last year. He's going to work with our quarterbacks and our defensive backs and help head up our defense with Mark Monica, who's also new. He helped at the JV level last year, so I moved him up to help me with the defense. At the varsity level, I've added a couple of players that played for me back in the early 2000s. Tyler Lefort, he's a physical therapist in the area now. He played at Guilford College. He's going to work with our defensive line. So very excited about him. He brings a lot of energy and passion. Jared Moore, who helped coach last year, is going to work with our wide receivers. I've still got a familiar staff at the JV level. I moved a couple people around. Nick Rumfeld's going to be our head JV coach, and then Brett Moody is going to be the assistant head coach at JV level. And then I've got Zach White, who also played for me, and Brett played for me. So it's kind of interesting. I've got a lot of guys around me that actually played for me, because I've been here since 2000. So and helped on and off since that time. So it's great to see those guys come back and see the passion and the fire and that they can bring to this program.
What's bring up, and I don't want to leave anybody out, and I don't want to be I never want to go down a negative road, but I'm a believer. Reality of where you've been is where you can see where you want to go, and bottom line is team was 1-9 last year. You're in a tough region.
Yes. You're
in a very tough region. I mean, you're playing teams that's 6-0 in the region, 3-3, 5-1, 2-4, 4-2, and that's the Smoky Mountain 1A. So tell me a little bit. Bring up some kids that are stepping up. Some of the seniors that are stepping up, leaders on the field that are what you would say helping you change that mindset and say, hey, we have the ability. Bring up some of the guys, some of the players out there. Talk about some of the guys.
Sure. Well, first of all, last year was a tough year. We had a lot of injuries, the most that I've ever seen, which led to that difficult season. But I think through that, a lot of these kids have learned and got experience that's going to help us. As far as kids that are stepping up right now, seniors, Adam Leake, who's going to be our center and play defensive line for us. He's a leader for us on the line. He don't miss a workout. He's there all the time. He's a good leader for these other linemen. We've also got Dawson Stanley, who was leading tackler last year on defense, coming back, play linebacker for us, and he's going to play on the line. I hate when you start mentioning kids. Don't want to leave anybody out.
I know. I understand what you said. Yeah. I like to highlight.
Sure.
Some of the guys that hey, football's football. Some guys show up and say, I'm getting this position this year, and they stepped up, and you're like, wow. So I mean, don't want to leave anybody out, but if a couple of guys has really stepped up, and
some other guys that come to mind is Elijah Deese. he's a very solid receiver for us. Coming back, going to be a senior, and a defensive back. Excited about him. Those three have been very committed through the spring, through our workouts. We've got some other kids that are really doing some good things in the weight room and on the field. Jake Mactaggert, who's a very solid player, 6'7", tight end. Looking for great things out of him. He's worked really hard on and off the field just to get ready. Blake McClure, my son, he's really stepped up. It's hard sometimes to be a coach's son, but he's really stepping into that leadership role. And he missed most of the season last year. He's a running back linebacker for us, and he's 5'11", I think 205 pounds. So we're hoping to get our run game established this year with him and that line. And some other kids that are buying in, Jace Elliott, another senior guard. Just those guys have been really committed. Ethan Taylor, another lineman that's, when the doors open, they're there, and that's the kind of kids you need. And we've got Hayden McClure that's going to return at quarterback for us. He got some experience last year when our starter went down, so we're excited about him. And I got a lot of young guys that are going to have to step up, but we're really excited about where this program's headed.
Where do you? I always say myself, coach could coach from the sideline and send them in,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's the leadership in the huddle.
Yes,
and
yes.
that's why I always
Right.
say when I'm talking to coaches, when I talk about senior leadership,
Yes.
that is stepped up
Right.
to pull the rest of the guys. They're in the huddle.
Yes.
If you're on the
That's
sideline,
it.
you got to hope in that
That's
huddle they
Yeah,
step up, right?
We can prepare them as much as possible, but once they step inside that box, it's on them. And you mentioned earlier the conference that we play in. 1A is probably the toughest conference in the state.
I wanted to get to that. I wanted to switch gears and get to that
Sure.
because now you have your first 5 games are out of state, but obviously where you're at, that's probably the best way you can do
Right.
non-region or non-conference
Yes.
games. Your first game is over in Towns, and that is your first game is over in Towns there on August 23rd, and your first home game is August 3rd right out here against Copper Basin. October 4th, you go up against Robbinsville. Talk a little bit about this region and some of the teams and some of the things you're looking for this year in this region. Highlight some of these teams that you got to go up against.
As I said earlier, the toughest 1A conference in the state. Very rich tradition. I think in 1A, our conference has won more state championships than any other conference in 1A. So, Murphy won state championship last year. They got a lot of kids returning. They're always very, very good, very well coached. You can always expect them to be right at the top of the conference, along with Robbinsville. Robbinsville's always very good.
They were 5-1 last year, and that's who you got to face right out of the box.
Right. The first 2 conference games, Robbinsville and Murphy, probably going to be the 2 best teams preseason wise that we'll face. Swain will also be very good. They've got a lot of seniors coming back. They'll be very competitive.
They went 4-2 last year.
Yes. So top 3, I think, traditionally is Murphy and Robbinsville and Swain, and that's who when we talk about competing, we want to be up there with those 3 competing, because in and out every year those 3 seem to rise to the top of the conference.
I got just a couple things we'll close, and I appreciate it. When you say when we talk about what's the team like, the attitude this year? What do they talk about? Because I always know coaches. You guys are in there, and that's what you guys are talking. What do they talk about when they get together as far as this region is concerned, this conference, and where they want to be this year? What do you hear from them?
I think you hear the same things. They want to compete. They want to be up there and win games, win championships, and they know what kind of conference they play in. They know these teams. They've played against them. But I'm starting to hear that they're starting to believe that they can compete in this conference, and Andrews I think will be very good this year. You got Rosman and Cherokee as well. But I think it's very important for us as coaches to portray that belief to these kids, so that when they're talking, they got to believe they can go out there and compete, or they're not
absolutely.
going to.
And actually, that's why I ask. Not exactly everything the coaches are saying.
Right.
Where you're starting to feel out of the guys. That's why I always ask where you feel out of the guys, because you can do the preaching all week, and on Friday night if
That's it. I hear a lot of excitement. They're ready to get started. They're you've got that core group, 18 to 20, that have been here this summer that that have really bought in. That they talk about it. They can't wait to get it started. They can't wait to open up on August 23rd at Towns County, and that's good to hear. You want them to be excited, because they're the ones that are going to reap the benefits.
So this is the only hat you're going to wear this year, Coach?
No, I'm also a girls basketball coach. So,
that's why I asked, because I'm looking girls varsity basketball coach,
right?
And I understand JV, but so you're going to wear that hat too again?
Yes, going to do that. For whatever reason, God's opened this door of opportunity for me, and I'm excited about it. It's been a busy summer, busy summer.
Absolutely.
With basketball and football, but I believe that He's not going to lead you into anything that He's not going to be with you and you can't handle.
Coach, I appreciate you very much sitting down with us. We just wanted to get some of the things going as far as, we don't like to assume that everybody out there knows everything going on and what's happening with Yellow Jacket football this fall. We're excited for you from Team FYN Sports. We can't wait for Friday night, and we think a lot of good things are in store for your team, so we appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for what you do for the kids in this area, and thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Team FYN Sports, BKP, we're out.